Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for September 26th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I'm here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 27 live feeds. It was day 80 in the house, and we had a house meeting, we had an eviction, and we have results for part one of the final three HOH. And with me to talk about all of that is Pooya. How you doing, Pooya?
I'm doing good. This is our last time meeting before the finale, Taryn. Last update of the season for me. Somber, but also it simultaneously doesn't feel like it was 80 days at all, and then it feels like it was 100 days sometimes. But for the most part, this was a very quick season to me.
Yes. That we're here, as of yesterday, of course, Morgan was the HOH and veto holder. Vince was continuing to lie to Ava about what he planned to do and what he should do. Oh, no, I know I need to keep you instead of Ashley if I want any chance of beating Morgan. And then we kind of went into that day with Vince having to do the task of letting Ava know what he planned to do with his vote. Morgan did let Ava know that she was planning to not use the veto, which meant that it was going to be Vinny's vote. And so Ava kept pulling Vince to be like, so you're going to tell me or what? And he kept putting it, and I'm still thinking about it, actually. I'm still considering. And this went on for a little while until around like 1:30-ish, when he finally says to her, so yeah, I'm thinking that really my only chance to win is to cut Morgan and take Ashley, because I think I beat Ashley unless the jury's really bitter. So that's really the only thing I have. So unfortunately, I don't know what that means for you. And Ava was just like, all right. And she just leaves. What really happens is Morgan interrupts them, and then she leaves and starts talking to the cameras about how she wants to call Vinny out. And she goes back in and he finishes his statement. And then she goes, all right. And then she leaves because she wants to prep for a house meeting where she exposes everything that Vince has been saying to her. We actually saw this in the episode last night. So pretty rare for me to be talking to you about something we saw in an episode before I have a chance to tell you about it on the update. But we also didn't see the end result of it on the feeds themselves. So you actually got more from the episode than I can tell you here.
Yeah, well, we basically got, I mean, we got whatever they gave us there. And after hearing those snippets, I feel like that was really all it was. I don't think there was a lot more there to offer. House meeting always sounds enticing. I don't, is this the latest house meeting in quotation we've ever had? I think so.
You don't usually call it a house meeting at 4, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
just barely.
Basically, Ava just exposing all of the things that Vince has been saying about how he wants to cut Morgan, and that he's been saying he was going to keep Ava, and we don't really know what the fallout of this was because it wasn't on the feeds, and by the time the feeds came back, many hours had passed. Feeds didn't come back until, I don't know, like 10 hours later at least. So we don't really know, but theoretically this could have some kind of impact in the sense that we talked yesterday about how Vince was talking to Morgan about Ashley, how he was trying to get to claim that Ashley was playing both sides. Ava exposing Vince might help Ashley deflect from that argument, or it might have the opposite effect. We ultimately see Ava leave saying, don't contact me, and this plays right into the hands of Vince, who gets to go, oh no, woe is me. Nobody even wants to talk to me after this game, let alone vote for me, Morgan. So who knows, but we ultimately did not get much in the way of game talk or much personal talk last night because there's no more HOH, which means Morgan and Vince are not sleeping in the same bed anymore. So we have some stuff to update, but not much in the way of ramifications for this house meeting.
Yeah, just crumbs. We got crumbs, and we will try and make what we can out of them. A meal, maybe. Snack.
Yeah. So, of course, we ultimately see that Ava was evicted in the episode last night. She has now gone to the jury, leaving our final three of Morgan, Ashley, and Vince. And so after Ava leaves, they go and do part one of the final three HOH. It was some kind of spinning endurance competition. And that was not good for Vince, turns out. He had trouble with the spinning. And so with Vince out of contention, of course, Morgan has won part one of the final three HOH, which leaves Vince to compete against Ashley in part two. This is interesting because obviously Vince is going to be favored here. However, it's not like he's gone like super head to head against Ashley in what is often a part two style competition. Really, again, as per usual, depends on what it is. Ashley has not been able to win much. If it's too physical, Vince will take it. If it's not, Ashley's got a shot. I think she generally knows her days just as well as Vince does. So, it's theoretically possible. I think we're all expecting Vince to win part two, but you can never fully take for granted that something may happen. People have certainly choked in this position before, and we'll have to wait and see. I obviously think that it would be very interesting if Ashley won part two because the Vince complaining would start getting real bad.
Yes. I think that is what I was about to say, is that a Vince vulnerable with no wins and it being between Ashley and Morgan will mean an all-nighter of Vince being beggy, which, could sound like any other day. But at a final three, with a final three HOH pending, you have to imagine it's going to be more beggy than usual.
Yeah, and somebody's actually mentioned she beat him in veto. I'm not sure what they're referring to, but it has made me think about. I'm curious to know if anyone goes back. This is something I would do. Goes back to the veto competition last night and tries to determine exactly how far each person between Ashley and Vince got in the puzzle veto, because that's probably the closest we will get to what part two of the final HOH will look like. If Ashley was ahead of Vince, I don't remember. The only thing I remember about them talking about it was that they knew Ava was the last place. Ashley did beat him in BB Comics, but he was throwing BB, despite what he says, he was throwing BB Comics. The people are saying it appeared Vince was ahead of Ashley, which does track to me. But we'll see. Part two upcoming. We will likely get it at some point, either today or tomorrow. Very likely today. I think they tend to do it relatively quickly in succession. But Morgan has won part one and is guaranteed a shot in part three, the final quiz, where she's still a favorite to win that. She knows her days, I think, at the very least, just as well as anybody else, if not better. Now, her tiebreaker skills may be left up to question, but I think the best thing possible for her is that the HOH room has been shut down, which means she's going to actually sleep, which is going to be huge for her ability to win a tiebreaker question.
Yeah, there we go. Get some rest in, get ready, and that should be good. Taran, I feel like, and I've not been able to speak on this because I found this out during the week, and it's been wild. The realization that if Morgan or Vince were to win, first of all, they're going to be the third oldest player to have won at 34, which really is just a nut statistic. And then Morgan would be the oldest woman to have won at 34. Just want to put that out there because that freaked me out, realizing that Mike Boogie then is second place with 36, and then Evil Dick was 44 at the time. So,
yeah. You know, BB7 and BB8, those were the times of the olds.
mm-hmm. Taran, we are the olds now. Do you realize we are the olds, man?
I'm not 36 yet.
We'll circle back at BB29, BB30. We'll talk about it then.
So yes, of course. This is where we are. Feeds came back to Ashley and Morgan having a very funny conversation. Morgan they're talking about the relationship, Vincent and Morgan, and Ashley's kind of talking about how, like, just so you know, like everybody was talking about it, and Morgan's like, oh, I know, I'm aware. Like I heard what Kelly was saying, like, and I was like, Kelly, like, stop, you know, like he has a relationship of 7 years. Like, we talk about Kelsey all the time. And it's like, oh. Ashley says, I don't know. And Morgan says, yeah, I don't know either, actually. I just know that he needs a lot of support. He's a really emotional guy. He needs a lot of support, you know? And Ashley's like, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I just wouldn't be surprised if you two were together in 3 months. That's just how it looks. That's just how it looks. And Morgan's like, nah, you know, it's just like there weren't many duos this season, and you know, we're a duo. So you know, it's like when you have a duo, you're like, oh, I love my duo. You know, like that's my dog. That's what, you know, that's what's going on.
No, I don't know, man. I'm not up here cuddling my dogs like that on a frequent.
You don't cuddle with the dogs in the crib?
Listen, maybe it's a 1-time cuddle, 2-time cuddle, but like a 13-time cuddle, 14-time cuddle. It's no longer a dog. That is more than a dog. That is dog plus.
Listen, she slept at the end of the bed like a dog. That's what they talked about all the time. You got to think these through, Pooya. They've got ironclad defenses.
I'm the dummy. You're right. This is true.
It's a funny conversation. I wouldn't read too much into it. Obviously, Morgan's not going to reveal to Ashley the extent of their relationship at this point, though obviously these are the same kinds of defenses they were making prior. It's also possible that she somehow thinks that what they talk about at night has not gone out there already. Because I will say, to add to the idea that maybe she is being a little bit genuine here, she does say to Vince later in the day, and I kid you not, you know, you're going back to your family and your girl. This is just a game.
Yeah, listen, I've been seeing it these last couple of days. I think Vince is about to have a very hard journey outside this house. And I think a lot of it will be, it's going to happen very rapidly and very fast. And it's going to begin with him not winning the season, most likely, right? So the L's are going to come very quickly. It's just how he's going to recover from them moving forward.
Yeah. So the full context of that, he gets out of the diary room after the feeds have come back, and he's just being a massive downer. I mean, like, just what's going on, Vince? Nothing. Are you okay? I know I can't win, you know. I can't win anything. It wasn't even fair. They spun the competition. I couldn't handle the spinning. So, you know, Vince, you've won a lot. You know, like you've still got this. No. Do you know how they look at me? They look at me like they fucking despise my existence. Nobody looks at you that way. Nobody talks about you that way. Well, they do behind my back. No. They say you're a lock to win the game. That's respect. It's not like I lied for fun. Vince, come on. And I swear, it's like It's like a mom talking to a child. Vince, aren't you proud of the way you played? No. Well, what are you gonna do about it? Come on. What are you gonna do about it then? Nothing, I guess. Vince, instead of looking at it in a negative light, you can look at it in a positive light. I can try. Okay, so what do you think? I don't know. I made top 3. That's it. Okay, keep going. You beat me in everything. All you do is win. You don't know how you keep winning? That must be a nice feeling because I don't know what it's like. Vince, you won 4 HOHs. You won 4 HOHs, and they were different kinds of HOHs. You should be proud of that. He kind of like shuts down, like, Vince, come on, talk to me. Talk to me. No. Vince, come on. No, nobody likes pity parties. I should be happy for you. Vince, come on. Let's talk. Come on, let's sit down. Okay. It's just my silly dream to be here, and now I'm falling flat at the finish line. It's like, Vince, what? It's not a silly dream. No, it's just a silly show. That's what everyone says. It's just a game. It's just a game. But, I feel like I have no control over my real life. And so now I'm here and I wanted to have control in this life, in this game. And I wanted to win competitions. Vince, you won a bunch of competitions, but not as much as you. Vince, people, when people go to the Olympics, do they complain when they make the podium? When they get the bronze medal? No. Nobody remembers 3rd place. Yes, they do. No, people only remember the winner. Vince, you're just having the success that I dreamt of having. I relate to Tyler because, I have a best friend that beats me in everything. You remember Tyler?
Didn't win. Made podium though.
And this is, again, she's like trying to hype him up. Vince, you're going back you're going to be fine out of the game. You're going to go back to your family, your girl. Like, this is just a game. It's all going to be fine. Come on. He's like, no.
I think, well, first of all, open up. Here comes part 2 of the HOH. Like, what are we doing? Man, you won for it. Like, that's the thing for me, right? It's like, I am a person who feels a lot of feelings. So I definitely empathize with people who feel a lot of feelings. And even I'm like, bruh, you won 4 goddamn HOHs. You won the damn wall comp. You won the other endurance comp. You took out Keanu. Like, big yourself up a little. You're at final goddamn 3. And you're acting like he won nothing. He's done nothing. And he's just kind of been carried to the end, which I guess when Morgan turned on the comp wins and wins all of them, that's something. But like, if you don't see yourself at least at 20% confidence, it doesn't matter if you win the final 3 HOH and take anybody to the end. You don't have the confidence to get through the questioning or to win. Like, you just don't. And I think this has been my biggest critique of his game, is that there are glimpses of opportunity to make yourself presented well to win this game that I think Vince has squandered at every time, every turn, because he just refuses to give himself any agency or control of the narrative. He just lets other people take the credit for everything and win for everything. So yeah, it's bad. And then more than anything, to me, it's cringe, man. Like, stop being cringe. It's tough. It's a tough watch. It really is.
Yeah, it's exactly what we talked about back when Keanu put him on the block, and he was like, no, not before jury, anything but that. If I just make it to jury, that's all I need. And now he's in the final 3. And he's like, no, it's even worse now that I've made it further. I've put in so much work to fall flat right before the finish line. Anything but that. And it's like, yeah, you give him an inch, he'll take another inch. And he'll take another.
Mm-hmm.
Take as many as he can from you, but only 1 inch at a time for Vince. So they keep doing this. They keep talking. She spends a long time trying to hype him up, trying to make him feel better after she wins part 1, because how dare she do that to him? He really deserves some comfort after she would dare do that to him. And so they spend a long time doing that, and that's really the rest of the night. There's not much left to do. As I said, they actually get to bed. I wouldn't say like at a reasonable time, because they had to do the competition, but they didn't spend extra time in bed together arguing and talking, because they're sleeping in separate beds now.
And we call that relief for some of us. Taran, are we going to talk about Showergate 2.0?
What's Showergate? She was in the shower.
No, the fact that we learned that Vince uses his bare hands to shower.
Yeah, the way he washes.
Mm-hmm.
This is Showergate 2.0.
This is how we're bookending the feeds with Showergate, Taran. This is what's going down this season.
Yeah, he doesn't use a washcloth.
No washcloth, no loofah. We're just raw dogging it with our bare hands. Wild to me.
Yeah. It tracks though, doesn't it?
I mean, yes, everything we've learned here for sure.
Morgan is like, can you please use the cloth? I don't know if you had extra commentary on this, Pooya.
I just wanted it on the record. Okay. I feel like, that's just, let's put it on the record. There's not much else to say. But I just wanted people to know if they didn't know. Now you know.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. That is about anything else, Pooya, that you wanted to bring up?
No. In fact, I would pat us on the back and say the fact that we got 22 minutes is actually incredible. But yeah, it all comes down to part 2. I anticipate a lot more begging between now and the finale, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that is what we have for you then today. I will, of course, be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, to update you on everything that does happen today on the Big Brother 27 live feeds, including maybe part 2 results. I think we're either going to have, Vince being like, I knew I could do it, or a Vince that is like, no, I lost to Ashley, not her, anyone but her. This is why we should have taken her out, Morgan. I told you. So, stay tuned for that. And then we also have the BB Q&A today. I will be joined by Rob Sesternino for the patrons of Rob as a Podcast. We'll be answering some questions from the patrons. If you want to join us, it's the final BB Q&A of the season. And tonight we also still have an episode, the recap of the recap, but it will include a jury segment. So that's going to be very, I would say, important to watch. I'll be live on Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon to check it out. Of course, The Amazing Race also aired last night. I'm going to have some coverage of that, of some watch parties of that on my Patreon, if you want to check that out. And my book, of course, Behind the Mirror. You're running out of time. Make sure you get the pre-order in, and then you'll thank yourself later, or I'll thank you later. At least one of those two. Pooya, what are you up to?
I've got the Pooya and Liana Lounge coming out later today, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be live again tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pooya. We will be making the finale bingo card tonight, so if you want to contribute to that, come through. It's been very fun making those, so check those out. Myself and Annabelle wrapped up the season of Traders Ireland this week, so again, if you've wanted to watch something else now that the season's about to be done, it's a very easy 12 episodes to watch, and the podcasts were very fun to do as well. And I'm recording 90 Day with Jason Reed this weekend, a little later, but better late than never. And I think that's about everything. Of course, one last thing, Survivor 49 did premiere. Taran and I did draft, and from a fellow non-grenade holder, congratulations, Taran. You and I both are valid in the draft and still matter. We won't tell you who we picked. Go check that out.
Yeah, as per usual, I was...
you like calling me close, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here today, and I will see all of you next time.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.